Hello and welcome back to Hockey Talks, Carl and Dave. Tonight we are going to discuss Toronto Maple Leafs' new head coach, what their plans are, and where do they see themselves going from here. Along with Sheldon Keefe, also has a new job in the NHL. We'll touch base on what's going on in the Stanley Cup Finals and the conference finals. There's four teams remaining, and maybe at the end here we'll go into the Memorial Cup a little bit as it begins Friday, May 24th. Dave, there is a new coach in Toronto. Uh, Craig Berube has been hired by the Toronto Maple Leafs uh, to see if they can make a difference in what has been going on in the past years. Not like the Maple Leafs
Well,
have had a problem in the season. It's just the playoffs. You think you can get them over that hump?
well, and that's like what we were talking about before, and maybe a week or two ago. We were talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs during the regular season not scoring playoff goals. That's what it comes down to. So Keefe is a great coach, but in the playoffs, the players aren't scoring goals. They're not scoring as much as they need to. In the regular season, they can score those goals because nobody's laying in front of the puck. No four players are playing in front of the goaltender. So I think Keefe is a great coach, and what he did with the Toronto Maple Leafs is fantastic. And whatever happens to him, down the road, he's going to be successful. But now they have a different coach coming in who has coached the St. Louis Blues, and I believe he got fired because there was just a alignment issue between him and the general manager. He needs a rugged, hard team that can hit, in my opinion. And whether the Toronto Maple Leafs are that style of team or not, I guess we're going to find out if it's, the coach or the core. Now, when it comes to him making a change in Toronto, we're gonna find out, I think, pretty quickly what the root of the issue is. When Keefe took over from Babcock, they were used to having somebody with major control issues.
Mhm.
You do it my way or you hit the highway.
Yeah.
And then they go the direct opposite. They go with Keefe, who maybe he was in the beginning had to be a little soft because the players were frustrated with that. And now it seems like they're going with a coach that's a little more centered. So that in that regard, I think that maybe he'll come along and they'll listen to him. They'll play the way that the game needs to be played.
Yeah.
I
Well,
know you can go and take the puck and shoot and score and dangle and do all that stuff. I know you can get your penalty shot goals and all that stuff, but those aren't the goals that matter. They're the goals that make you look good, they're the goals that get you paid. Absolutely.
yeah.
But when it comes to playoffs, they don't matter. So at
No.
the end of it all, Keefe is, I think, number two for most wins in coaching history, like fastest to get that.
Hmm.
And you know what? He's gotten into the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs, I think five times or four times or something. And you know what? They won, I think they got into the second round once.
Once.
So
Yeah.
good for them. Good
Yeah. They
for
got the
him.
second round. Yeah. But
And I'm not saying it's all his fault. I'm just saying we're going to find out if it's the core or the coach.
yeah,
What do you think?
Sheldon Keefe, I think, is a great coach, right? I mean, like we said, he found a new home already. We'll get into that a bit later, but I think Sheldon Keefe knows how to coach, and he's a very, very good at doing it. He just had couldn't figure out how to get those players to push to the next level into the playoffs when they really need to change that style because it's completely different. It seems to be way faster, way harder hitting, and they just could not seem to adapt. And if you can't adapt, I mean, yeah, they got to do something. Whether the coaching change was the right move or not, I
I
think
think it's
there's
the right move.
deeper. I think there's some deeper issues as well. Maybe not just with coaching, is
But
coaching.
that's where the right move comes in.
Well,
Because now he
it
now
could.
he's now he's going to come
Now,
in, and if you don't listen to him, you can just get out of here. Go.
oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
He's gonna bring
It's a change in management. It's going to make people care again. It's going to refresh things.
yeah.
And I'm not saying it's going to make them go far, but what I'm saying is they need this for a fresh push, a
Yeah.
push
Well,
into
he's
the
gonna bring
playoffs.
discipline. He's gonna bring
Yeah.
discipline. If something's not going right, there's going to be discipline with Craig. Like
Yeah.
you look at the St. Louis Blues in the 2019 Stanley Cup when he took over, they were dead last in December, and they
Yeah.
made a hard push and got all the way and won the Stanley Cup. And I think it has a lot to do with Greg Berube pushing his players to get to that level, like pushing him, making him feel
So
uncomfortable, making him get there. Like I don't think Sheldon Keefe really pushed enough, and like you said, make them feel uncomfortable where they are to try to get ahead of where they currently were. They only stayed at that one spot. They could not
yeah.
get past it, and I think he will help them big time get that in the gear.
So yeah, St. Louis, I believe, won the Stanley Cup in 2019.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have they done since then? You
Well,
know? And
yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
like the reason I'm asking this is because yes, Berube came along, and is that misalignment between their general manager and bringing aboard talent
I think
that
it might be.
doesn't push hard, like is it as physical,
Yeah.
just misaligning with his coaching style. And then
Yeah.
the next question I have to ask is like, is Toronto really that hard hitting of a team? You know, I know we can hold our own, absolutely.
Mhm.
But are like I never really thought of it that way. Is Toronto Maple Leafs a hard hitting team?
Yeah, see, I think you got some players on there that definitely will show, right? You got Tyler Bertuzzi. That's one guy
Yeah.
that will I think take sides with Craig big time, right? As for hard hitting, you don't have a lot of guys on that roster, I don't think, that would be playing that physical style. So I think if they allow him to adjust his roster and bring in some guys that maybe could play more of that kind of a style, yeah, I mean, it might be competitive for next year, right? When they really need to play that physical game, especially against Boston. Like if they come back, it seems to be almost every year they play. But
Yeah.
every year they're going to face either Florida, Boston, or Tampa more likely, and they're all heavy hitting teams. They got some big guys. So if they can get people in place, and I think they will, and beef up their D line, beef up their D line a bit. I think they'll make some moves here, but. Yeah, like you said, we'll
I
see where
think
it goes, see what management lets him do. And then, but I think he's gonna change that way. I think it's gonna be a
and
more disciplined, organized, and more physical team.
and in that regard, who do you think would be the most likely person to disagree or not get along with the new coach? I
I want
have
to
an
say
idea in my head. I'm thinking Mitch. Who are you thinking?
same here, Mitch Marner.
Yeah, I could see
I
him.
don't think he'll
Like
stand
I've
it.
been looking at some polls. Understand they're slightly suggestive, you know, based on your audience and things like that.
Yeah.
But it does look like a lot of people, Leafs fans, want Marner gone. Now, whether that's a
Uh,
knee-jerk reaction or what, it's like this guy, he's awesome. Um, let him go and prosper, you know,
yeah,
somewhere else. Let him go to Jersey,
he's a good
you know, or
player. He
somewhere else, because
yeah,
obviously he just
unfollow
doesn't
Sheldon.
fit. He
Yeah.
doesn't fit, you know, the team.
Well, he's a really good player, very talented player, right? But he doesn't. I don't know if he's not motivated at certain times to play or what it is, or somebody
Yeah,
just needs to get under him and push him. But he
yeah,
seems like he hits a certain wall and he stops. And I think you nailed it when you said Leafs fans kind of want Mitch Marner gone. And I think it's not just after this year. I think it's been a couple of years where they're starting to question whether Marner's right for this team. And I'm pretty sure I think a lot of Leaf fans out there would like to see him move on from this team and find somebody else to replace him because we got some good up and coming guys on that team and that roster.
yeah. He
So
made the push, and then he got the contract, and then
yeah,
he
kind of
played
fell off
Fortnite.
there.
He
Yeah,
played Fortnite.
yeah,
He's a kid.
yeah, yeah. He
Like
is.
he prioritized, and yeah, fair enough. I mean, anyways, before I say something I'll regret.
Well, I mean,
So Keefe also went to Jersey. Do you think
yeah,
that's
he
going to
did.
fix that?
Keith going to Jersey. See, Sheldon Keefe, like I said earlier, he is a really talented coach. But do I think that's the kind of person that Jersey needs? Probably not. But I mean,
They're very, by the way, Jersey fans are very excited
oh, I'll
that
bet.
they
You
have
know,
Keefe.
Sheldon.
They look at all the good and they don't look at any of the bad. And you know, it's all about who's coming in at what time. Like I mentioned, Babcock was in Toronto, and then
Yeah,
Keefe came in, and it's like Well, he has to be that soft guy
Yeah.
because you can't come in and have any control because that's what they just got. They just dumped that, right? Kind of like the
Yeah.
president of the
But
United States, you know. You get this like little nice little genuine person, and then you get rid of them, and who do you go with? You go with the skank of the bar, you know what I mean? The person who's throwing their stuff all over the place, and and then who do you want after that? Well, you want the nice guy again, a nice girl.
yeah.
And that's the same thing with this. It'll be interesting to see what kind of category Keefe is going to fall into when he doesn't necessarily have to follow a coach with control issues.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I honestly think Sheldon Keefe is probably going to coach the same way he did the Leafs.
You think
Pretty
so?
similar, I think, which I mean, it'll help New Jersey get back into the playoffs, I'm sure, right? Because they
Yeah.
got a lot of talent too, man.
Well,
But it just seems to be wasted last year. Like
yeah,
Lindy Ruff, I think, was head coach of New Jersey before this, right? And
I think
he got
so.
fired halfway through the season, maybe a little over halfway, and Travis Green took over for Mad Turner. I kind of thought they were gonna keep Travis Green on, but he opted to go to Ottawa. So now he's gonna be with the Ottawa Senators full time as their head coach there. But so they brought in Sheldon Keefe, which I think it's a good idea for New Jersey, at least for a year or two, right? They have to reset, they have to refocus and get back into the playoffs. That's where they got to start. They got to
Yeah.
get their guys focused and fixed on getting to the playoffs. Once they get that, then I think they can move forward there. Of course, they want to get there and win the Stanley Cup. That's what everybody does, but they got to take it one step at a time. And I think Sheldon Keefe will get them to the point they want to get to as a franchise. I really do think that. But like I said, Sheldon Keefe hasn't proven anything in the playoffs yet. He can get teams to there, but where do you go after that?
And yeah, the two factors that you have to think about with that is that, well, can Keefe make the team do what he knows needs to get done? Well, if New Jersey is the same style of team as Toronto, no. Jersey will be able to score a lot of goals, but they won't be able to
No.
score playoff goals.
Yeah.
So that's not going to change. But I like the way you put it, though. He's going to help the team get to a position where they want to be.
And they have the goal of
A
getting back to
playoff
the
getting
playoffs,
team.
right? Because they
Yeah.
were a playoff team a couple of years ago. Last year, maybe even. They got to the
I read
playoffs.
a
But I
weird
mean,
stat. It was like 11 out of the past 13 seasons or something weird like that. It could be a little off,
that they
but
missed the playoffs.
that they missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
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 Or 8 out of 10 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's you gotta make a change of some sort. And I think
Yeah.
Keefe will help them get to that point. And I think that's the kind of goal that they have set right
Yeah.
now is to just get to the playoffs. And then who knows what can happen from there, right? So if they can do that, and maybe Sheldon Keefe will have something with these guys, a whole different group that'll push them even farther. But I think it's a good choice if they want to get to the playoffs. And I think Sheldon Keefe can help them do that.
I think so.
Yeah, but getting to the playoffs, the Edmonton Oilers managed to take down the
Sure
Vancouver
did.
Canucks. Well, see, there
What
was the thing. We
happened?
had one team show up. Guess who that was? Oilers. Yeah,
Yeah.
Connor McDavid, no points again. Leon Draisaitl, I think he had an assist, but it was their
They got 15 shots or something on net. Like
15
17
shots. That's
shots,
it. Yeah,
maybe.
15 shots. Yeah, something
How
like
is this
that.
a
It was
game
low
seven when
anyway.
you get 15 shots on
Yeah,
net?
there was a problem with that. And he was Rick Tocchet was asked that in the media why they didn't shoot, and they just said they have to wait for the right moments. That's the only answer he could come up with. And once you're in a game seven, you're not going to score unless you shoot. Like when they were in the third period, again with only a few minutes left, they started just firing pucks at the net. Look at that, they got like what, 2 goals within the matter of
Mm-hmm.
like 5 minutes. Like shoot the puck. If you don't shoot the puck, you're not going to score. I get there's a lot of block shots and stuff, but fire them. If they start blocking shots and they get hit hard with them, they're going to stop blocking shots eventually. But I mean,
That's how you get
just
greasy goals. You
well,
fire them,
you
they
just
go
gotta get
through
them any way to the net you
bodies.
can. And if you don't
Exactly.
shoot, you can't score. It's
Yeah.
not gonna happen. Like if Edmonton had like 37 shots or something that game. Like
They
it's
came to
just
play.
they did,
Yeah.
and Vancouver
And it's a
didn't.
dangerous Edmonton team.
Absolutely.
What
They have
what
a lot of
surprises me
power.
even more though and this is just being honest, is McDavid was held pointless
They
in a
really
game
focused on
7.
McDavid. Really
Yeah,
focused on McDavid through the series. And the Canucks got
that's
into
just,
game
it
7.
surprises me so much because somebody who's that elite,
Yeah,
getting shut completely down. Can we expect that for the rest of the playoffs?
I don't think so.
No,
I mean,
you don't think Dallas will
Dallas,
be able to shut down McDavid?
they probably actually, you know what, if they focused directly on McDavid like Vancouver did, yeah, he probably could shut him down. But Edmonton has been proving this year that they have a lot of guys that can put the puck in the net, especially Evan Bouchard from the line, man. He's got a hard shot, and he's proven that. He's gotten multiple goals over this one from a slap shot from the point, right? So they got a lot of guys, a well-rounded team this year that can put it. It's not all McDavid and Draisaitl this year, which I think is a big reason why Edmonton is where they are now, up against
Yeah.
Dallas.
So there's a lot of greasy goals that Edmonton scores, and there's a lot of greasy goals that Vancouver had to have scored.
Yeah,
But there is a greasy goal that Lafreniere got, and it's an amazing
yeah,
one,
yeah,
an own
yeah,
goal.
yeah. He,
First of all, okay, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, yeah, it happened where the puck was coming back towards the goalie, and he tried to deflect it away,
Yep.
and
They
ended up
always
putting it
say
right
go
through
to
the
the
spot.
they always say go to the net, and that's how
Yeah,
you score. That's what he
yeah.
was
Well,
doing.
he did, and he scored on his own net.
No,
But
I
yeah,
got a
that was
question to
a
ask you.
sure.
I mean, I get it. That's what doubled the Florida Panthers lead. It's what led to their win. And
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't matter. It's not important. Well, I mean, it's a game. So we'll see how important it is down the road. But the thing that I have to ask is why was the goalie, I think I might have missed something. Why was the goalie putting it to the opposite team?
Um, yeah, that's where he skated out to the boards.
Yeah,
Is that
like
it?
stay in your net.
Yeah, I don't know why he was out so
Like,
far.
why were you dumping it? And then
He
he
tried
passed
to
it
shoot it
right to the other
against.
team.
I think he tried to shoot it and ricochet it off of the boards, but he ended up shooting straight at the boards.
Oh, he was aiming for the guy, and he was the only guy over there.
And
I mean, maybe it's always obvious based on review, but not actually in the moment.
yeah,
Regardless, that shouldn't have happened if that goaltender would have just stayed in his net.
yeah, and then he was so far to position that
Nothing would have happened. So
he,
a lot of people blame it on Lafreniere. It's like, hey,
yeah,
no, you got to look at the back of it. How did this
well,
how did this start? And this
yeah,
started from the goaltender not tending the goal.
he just had a stick out to try to cover it and then deflect it in the corner, but he ended up pushing it straight into the net instead of the corner. So that was just a bad goal, and it happens. It happens in hockey sometimes, right? Yeah, he's not the first one. He'll never be the last one to do
Yeah.
that on his own net, right? So it's just an unfortunate goal, and I'm sure they'll bounce back in the second game. But Florida taking the 3-0 in the first game, and they came out
Like
physical. They came out
like I
physical.
get I get that people wipe away this own goal and stuff, and it is like an accident, a complete accident. But
Yeah,
when they say like, oh, it's no big deal, we're gonna, it's no big deal. It's like, well, no, it is. And the sooner you just admit, like, yeah, it is a big deal, it sucks, but we'll
yeah,
get over it. Don't say, oh no, it's nothing. It's like,
yeah.
no, it is something. It's a game. And you could
Mhm.
have you could have scored a goal, you could have came back and won it, but you
Yeah,
didn't because there was a goal scored
yeah,
against you.
yeah. It
And just
happened.
admit that that sucks.
Yeah, but it happened already, so you got to move past it,
Yeah.
right? There's nothing you can do about it. The moment happened,
Well, learn
he's
from it,
put
I guess.
learn
But
from it, exactly. Learn from it, but it already went in the net. It's a goal, can't take it back, so you got nothing to do but move on from it
yeah,
and learn not to do that again. Watch where your stick
hopefully.
is. Watch where your stick
Yeah.
is, maybe, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think they'll have a big bounce back game, and Florida came out physical. I think they caught them off guard. I don't think they were ready for that, which
Yeah.
they probably should have been, because if you watch Florida, that's pretty much all they are. Physicality. They love to throw hits, especially Matthew Tkachuk. He loves to get in and grind people's gears. People saying Bobrovsky is in people's heads as well. He's making
Mhm.
unbelievable saves as well, but 2 breakaway chances, both saves, and yeah, I don't know. They'll have a bounce back game, I feel.
Yeah.
But we'll see how the series go. I think it's going to be a tight series as
Yeah.
well. And Colorado and Dallas, that's also going to be tight. Ottinger, he's playing some okay goal.
Colorado and Dallas.
did I say Colorado? Edmonton, and Dallas. Sorry, that was
Yeah,
last series. But Edmonton and Dallas, yeah, that's gonna
that'd be
be
tight.
it's gonna be a tight one. As
Hmm.
long as, well, I'm pretty sure they're starting Skinner. Pretty sure. Don't know if it's the right move or not. Skinner, it probably is the right move. Start your starter. That's what you have him for. But he's been, he seems like a little bit lost, especially in that Vancouver series. So they
Hmm.
bounced back between goals. Man, they managed to squeak out the series, but we'll see how the goaltending is
Yeah.
played out in that. Um, but you want to get into the Memorial Cup a little bit?
You just meant, yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
mention do your thing. Yeah.
yeah. Memorial Cup, I guess, is starting Friday, the 24th.
Tomorrow.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
technically tomorrow. This is recorded today, Thursday. Uh, so we got, yeah, tomorrow it all starts. Moose Jaw is taking on the host, uh, Saginaw Spirit, which is the host of the Memorial Cup this year. So that all gets going tomorrow. We'll see. It's gonna be entertaining and fun to watch this. All these young guys, the upcoming stars, a lot of talent on all of these teams, right? Most of these teams that made it to the Memorial Cup swept their final series to get there. So it's gonna be a hard fought battle. So it's gonna be some great hockey coming up. Yeah.
Very
No.
exciting.
Yeah. No, it shall be great. But yeah, so we'll figure it out and play and watch some hockey this weekend. See what happens with everything, the playoffs, Memorial Cup, and then we still gotta wait till next season to find out what the coaches do. But so that'll be a long wait, but it's still got about a month and a half of hockey, I think, at least. Yeah. So lots to go, lots to talk about, and then we go into the off season and then the draft and all that fun stuff coming up. But we'll focus on the playoffs again next week. We'll dive into what happened in the Memorial Cup in the last week or so, and we'll dive into any other things that comes up during the hockey season and the hockey playoffs. Once again, thanks again for joining us in Hockey Talks here, and we will see you next time.
Later.